Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from the Aqueduct Racetrack here on Thursday. It is November the 24th, 2016. Going to look at the stakes races on today's program, races 3, 5, and 8. Before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5 for more selection from racetracks around the world. So let's get to the stakes races, races 3, 5, and 8. The third race is the first running of the Ponte Stakes, pursed $125,000 for 3-year-olds. We have a field of 8 3-year-olds traveling a mile 16th on a turf course. The 5 and 7 horse are main track only, so 6 of them will only run traveling a mile 16th on the turf course, and hopefully this race doesn't get taken off, but you never know. Mile 16th. And my top pick here in the spot, we'll go to the 3-horse Strike Midnight. Going to go 3-6-2-8 in the superfecta. 3-6-2-8 in the super. Number 3, Strike Midnight, 2-1. I Ride Ortiz Jr. for Leah Giamatti. Last time out, ran at October the 23rd at Belmont Park, soft turf course, Widener turf course it was that day. A mile in the 100,000 English Channel Stakes. Horse finished second by a half length that day. Was far back early, but closed up a tiny bit at the end. You know, he needed a little extra ground. I think with this bit of a longer stretch here on the turf course at Aqueduct should do this horse wonders. Start before it came at Belmont, a mile on the 8th, October the 8th, in the Grade 3 Hill Prince. Horse finished 5th by 1.5 lengths behind Camelot, Kitten, Beach Patrol. Some very good 3-year-old colts. This horse just wasn't catching him that day. You know, decent 5th place finish at 46-1, but just wasn't catching him. And then on September the 3rd at Saratoga, mile on the 8th, inner turf course in the Saranac. This horse finished 5th by 4.25 lengths that day, behind Inspector Linney, Camelot, Kitten, Isotherm. Again, some very tough horses. You know, he just held his own for a 5th place finish. You know, his last start was very good against just basic stakes quality horses. I think he should do well here today. Sources won twice. His last one came June the 3rd at Belmont, a mile, in an optional claimer, winning by 8 lengths, stalking the pace that day. And then both wins came at a mile at Belmont. His last win before that, he came September the 25th of 2015 at Belmont. His maiden victory. So I'm going to use this horse here as a top pick. So to recap my bets for race number 3 from Aqueduct, it's the inaugural Ponte Stakes. I'm going to go with the 3-horse. I'm going to go 3-6-2-8. 3-6-2-8. So now let's get on to race number 5 from Aqueduct. The 5th race is the second running of the Furlong Stakes, purse $100,000 for fillies 2-year-olds. We have a field of only 6 horses traveling 6 furlongs. 6 furlongs. And my top pick here is going to come. I'm going to give you a superfecta play, but I think it's going to be a little bit chalky here. This one might, if play for 10 cents, play it straight, or play it. Don't box it because it's not going to pay much if you box it. But my superfecta play here is going to be 6-5-1-4. 6-5-1-4. If it comes in for 10 cents, it's only going to pay about $2 probably. But 6-5-1-4. Number 6. Eloquent Riddle, Jedmont's own Chad Brown trains Javier Castellano on this one. If you're playing the pick 5, I would single this horse for sure. I think this horse might be the best horse in the field. But this horse last time out on November the 5th at Aqueduct, 1 mile in the Grade 3 Tempted Stakes. This horse finished 3rd by 2 lengths that day. Basically was 3rd all throughout. Really just wasn't really closing at all. It was the horse's first start in over 40 days. So I think this horse needed the start. He's cutting back in distance today also to the 6 furlong distance, which should be the key. Start before September the 18th at Belmont, 6.5 furlongs, main special weight for $75,000. Horse won by 2 3/4 lengths that day. You know, it was a little bit wide, but, you know, closed up very well after a stalking position going around the turn at Belmont. You know, she's out of Harlan's Holiday. Harlan's Holiday is a very nice horse. I believe he won the what do you call that race? The Bluegrass in 2002 at Keeneland. But, I think this horse should run well here today. So to recap my bets for race number 5 from Aqueduct, it's the second running at the Furlong Stakes. Going to go with the 6-horse, Eloquent Riddle, single that one. Going to go 6-5-1-4, 6-5-1-4. So now let's get on to race number 8. The 8th race is the traditional stakes race of the Thanksgiving Day at Aqueduct, and years ago my grandfather used to go to Aqueduct on Thanksgiving. That's when they used to have the post time like at 11 o'clock. I think tomorrow the first post time is, I believe it's 12. Actually, it's 11:50. But it used to be 11 o'clock first post time. They used to run only 8 races, and the 7th race used to be the Fall Highway. He would stay for the Fall Highway, and leave after that. Wouldn't play the eighth race. And my grandfather still has a very good horse. He's running this fall highway stakes. Never went to the racetrack on Thanksgiving. I was always too busy watching the parade, or actually in the parade in New York, or you know, at the parade in New York City. But this year, probably not going to be going. Too busy in the morning. But plus, we're eating at 3. This race goes off at 3:20. But this eighth race is the 103rd running of the Fall Highweight Handicap. Grade 3, purse $200,000. It's a handicap for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 9 horses traveling the distance of ground of 6 furlongs. And you do have some high weights in this one. 6 furlongs in the Fall Highway. And my top pick in this one will go to the 3 horse, number 3, Ready for Rye. Gonna give you a superfecta play. This one's gonna pay a lot if it comes in, I think. Gonna go 3-9-5-1. 3-9-5-1. Maybe for the 4th place spot, if the 8 horse I would put in also. So play $2 pick, $2 superfecta here. So 3-9-5 with the 1-8 for the 4th position. So 3-9-5. 1-8 for the 4th position. But number 3, Ready for Rye, 5-1, Luis Saez for Tom Albatrani. This 4-year-old gelding out of City Zip, reported as gelding on the 31st of January of 2014. Last time out, this horse ran on October the 8th at Belmont, 6 furlongs in the Belmont Turf Sprint Championship race. This horse finished 5th by 2 3/4 lengths that day, and was very wide and really couldn't keep up with Pure Sensation, Parallel, and Green Mass, some very fast horses. This horse just wasn't catching him that day. Start before at Saratoga, August 27th, 7 furlongs in the Forego. This horse finished 10th by 14.5 lengths behind AP Indian. Tamaracuz, AP Indian won next start out. Finished, I believe, 2nd or 3rd in the Breeders' Cup Sprint, or 4th, something like that. And Tamaracuz went on to win the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. This horse was just too tough of a race for this horse that day. Really just was far back and didn't do nothing. And then the Belmont Sprinting Championship at Belmont Park, 7 furlongs, July 9th. Horse finished third by 4.5 lengths, losing to AP Indian and marking. It was just wide and really couldn't get into it that day. In this spot, I think this horse should do well. A thing that does scare me, this horse is carrying 130 pounds here today, so he is up there in weight. He's not actually the high weight. The high weight goes to the 9 horse Stall Walking Dude, who's going to have a lot to do with that 134 pounds. But, I think this horse should do well. He's been up there, he had a very good beginning of the year. His last few starts haven't been good, but if he could run back to some of the starts he ran earlier this year, I think he should do well. So to recount my bets for Race and Break from Aqueduct Racetrack, it's the 103rd Fall Highway Handicap. Gonna go to the 3 horse Ready for Rye. Gonna go 3-9-5-1-8. 3-9-5-1-8. So good luck to all, and follow me on Twitter at Horse Racing Kid 5. Good luck, everybody.